Hello there guys, it's me Unstable Voltage and welcome to episode 15 of Crusader Kings 2. Actually managed to kill off the wife of one of my sons because I screwed up and made it a matrilineal marriage when I shouldn't have done. This guy needs to be married. This is Celered of England. He's the guy that will hopefully become our king. Let's see if we can marry him to someone in West Francia. We're at war with this person, so he's not really going to want anything to do with us. I think pretty much everybody is at war with us right now. Not too sure why. We'll hopefully wait for these things to go away a little bit. That one's at 100%. That should probably go away quite quickly. Right, you've secretly got married. Okay, there's one war gone. So we're out of one war there. You might now be... Okay, different king. Arranged marriage. Do you have any children? No. Siblings, age 20. You're not married. So if we arrange a marriage between you and my sons... You can marry that one, actually. It doesn't really matter. I'm not going to click matrilineal this time, because that's stupid. And only a moron would do that. And, I want to try and get a young wife for my son who would be king. Maybe you, or you're already married, and you're quite ugly. So, let's wait on that one. We're still in 3 wars. We're actually winning one of them. Not sure why, because I'm not doing anything. We could use the time to attack somebody else. We could certainly go to war over here. There's no reason why not to. Before we do that, let's just have a quick look. You have a few allies. You have a lot of allies. I think we'll leave it until after we've secured the realm. I think that's going to be the important thing to do. Is hope some of these other wars end. I could try and surrender out of a few of them, but I don't want to upset my vassals too much if I can. That being said, we are 57. And we do have to be careful. So let's just have a look. You are married. That is fine. And you are married, but you're not married. So we need to get Celered married. So that's the wrong key. You can't move around with those keys. I guess we're still at war with you, aren't we? Yes. Oh well, that's fine. Let's just leave things ticking until some of these wars are over. Gain the proud trait. Does the Pope like us? No, not really. Why does the Pope hate us so much? I thought that our chaplain was actually doing a good job in trying to sort things out. Church view on lustful. Chaste versus lustful. You just don't really care, do you? That's basically it. Got some weak claims. Levies raised too long. Call to arms. I'm going to accept because it'll put us in another stupid fight against the Vikings, which I'd rather not have, but... let's raise here a small levy. Let's go ahead and put our king... Not our king, but our heir here, because we want to try and get him killed, even though it never works. And we'll just go and try and face roll you into as many enemy troops as possible. In the hope that you will get utterly smashed to pieces. And actually killed this time. Some levy reinforcements. Did you die? No. It's just the guy is just impossible to kill. But we do need to get out of these wars. I shouldn't think that that war will rage on for too long. We're getting so many call to arms messages, though, that it's getting a little bit annoying. Let's go and accept. We're in so many wars now for all of these revolts and rebellions. And that's going to make it pretty much impossible to change these laws. Unless I decide just completely not to get involved with any of these battles and lose a lot of prestige. Let us go ahead and... See, unfortunately, we still can't have these ones killed. You can't kill your own children in this game, which is really weird. I think you used to be able to. I think you used to be able to order to have people assassinated. But you can't do that anymore. I mean, of course, we could still have them we could still have them arrested and then order them to take the vows. That would certainly solve a lot of our problems. I mean, look how many wars we're in. We're never going to get out of those wars at the rate things are going. What's our vassals' opinion of us? We haven't actually checked this for quite some time now. There's a few people that really don't like us. I'm not sure if tyrannical stacks or not. If we die, and let's face it, we're looking a bit old and ragged. If we die, it's going to be game over. That's it. It doesn't matter how much our vassals like us, that will be the end. So, let's go ahead and imprison our sons. Now, oh, he actually fled. He actually fled. But he's no longer our heir. Or at least he shouldn't be. No, he is still our heir. That's annoying. Damn him. What about the other son? Only a 64% chance. Right, so they're all fleeing. And where are you all going to? Essex. Well, I guess it looks like we know what we're doing next, doesn't it? Let's go ahead and throw down, I suppose. We're in some massive wars here, but there's so many wars going on that it shouldn't really matter. We want a... Can we get a de jure claim on the entire duchy? Or do we have to go for individual counties? I think it's individual counties, but let's go for a claim on Essex. And we will raise our levies. I am going to hold down control just so we don't spawn where all of those Vikings are, because there's a lot of Vikings around, even though it looks like we're going to march straight through. No, we're actually fine. Dangerous factions, that's alright. So we've got a fairly big garrison there. Let's go in. In fact, do we have any more levies that we can raise now? No, we actually raised all the ones that we could. So let's go and march in. See if we can kill them off. Lost the trait patient. There's another war that's ended. That's good. There's another war that has ended. Also good. Discovered a plot where someone's trying to fabricate claims on England. Now, who are you? You're one of my vassals. We could try and arrest you. There's only a 26% chance of it working, so we'll leave that for the time being. So let's go ahead and try and win this war if we can. We'll try and take Essex. This is all going to get very, very messy now because I'm basically just panic firing in an attempt to try and make sure we hang on to our titles. So who are you again? You are the Duke of Weiss. And you want to go to war with me. So who are we at war with now? Just half the kingdom. That's not too bad. I guess we could go and just try and stack wipe your army while you're all up here, I suppose. I know we're dealing with several wars, but wow, you've got a big stack of people there. Let's go back to Essex. And just keep trashing your guys down here. And I think what we will do is we will... Right, okay. We need to stay in one county here. I need to stop running around and I need to let one of these siege out. I also need to hire some mercenaries. Now, I don't really want to hire the mercenaries yet, because if I hire the mercenaries in Leicester, they are going to probably get stack wiped over here. Okay, so we've got some more grandchildren going on. So let's see if we can siege at least one of these provinces out first. It's always typical. We need not to be at war. Look how many wars we're in. Like, hundreds of them. Absolutely terrible. We'll siege these provinces out if we can. Then I'll run over to Leicester. It'll take ages to siege this. What's it going down by? 4.1%. That's quite bad. We could ask our allies to come to our aid. Doesn't mean that they will. We've lost that siege up there, which was expected. We will find her someone. We'll just make him angry with me. I don't really care. Yep, okay, so one of our allies is coming to our aid, which is good. Getting a few people here. The Pope's opinion is changing. Game over. That's it. We died. I was hoping that we would actually manage to do it. We ruled for 34 years, but we didn't quite manage it. That is a real shame. What actually happened? Does it say? After a lineage of 2 characters, your line has ended with the death of the heirless Beorthwaru Unstable Voltage's daughter. Unstable's Dortier Voltage. It's confusing. With a score of 9,733, you beat the House of von Zarigen, who were powerful landholders in southern Germany and holders of the duchies of Verona and Carinthia, which made the Zagarian family a key power holder in Germany. A failed rebellion against the emperor saw these titles stripped from the family and other parts of their family. Lands would be inherited by other dynasties, leaving the family lands shrunk to a few holdings in Swabia. So that is it. It didn't really work out as well as I'd hoped. What actually happened? Can we just go straight to the end of the chronicle? Yeah, I'm basically what happened in this game is doesn't even say. I must have just died of old age or something. Basically, I just screwed up. I made so many mistakes in that game. The biggest mistake that I made was not going for the matrilineal marriage with the daughters. You should always try and make sure your daughters have a matrilineal marriage if they're ever going to have a claim to the throne. Admittedly, the game did stiff me as far as some of the random rolls go. There were far too many times where it killed off the people that I wanted to keep and didn't kill the people that I wanted to kill off. That being said, I think overall we did quite well. We did manage to secure England. Now, I did, like I said, I'm not an expert at this game. I've never claimed to be. In fact, I've only played the game for, I don't know, probably about 40 hours or something now. And before I started recording this playthrough, I did have another sort of game that I did off camera where I pretty much did the same thing. I started playing as Leicester, and I did manage to form the Empire of Britannia. So it is actually possible to do, and I don't know, it just turn of events, and that is one of the things with Crusader Kings, and I don't know, it's one of the things that makes it interesting, because there's the randomness of it, and things like this can happen, and you know, sometimes you just have to go off and do strange things, like you have to go, right, screw my reputation, screw my prestige, I just need to go around arresting people, murdering people, and plotting against people just to try and keep the game going. But then there's other parts of it that make you think, you know, you can have one game that goes perfectly well and another game that ends prematurely just because you got offered a bad roll. And it's one thing in games like Europa Universalis 4, where sometimes a few bad rolls can lose you a battle or two, or maybe even lose you a war or two. But most of the time, losing a battle or a war isn't the end of the game. But having one random roll that suddenly kills off your ruler before they have a chance to get an heir, or one that kills off an heir of your dynasty and shoves the succession over to a different dynasty, just one random roll can completely screw the game. I mean, I've got this game set to autosave every 6 months. I could probably reload it at the end of June, July, whenever it saves. And if I carried on playing, I probably wouldn't just randomly die. It was just because I had a random dice roll at that time that decided my ruler was going to die. That being said, the chances of us actually being able to get out of all the wars and get all my vassals to like me enough to change to Ultima Genitor was very, very unlikely to happen. So I'm going to put this down as a lesson learned. This is a good example of how not to play Crusader Kings 2. The main purpose of doing this series, though, was to sort of just show you the mechanics of the game, as opposed to just having a 40-minute long video where I point at buttons and tell you what they do. The idea was to actually have a full game in progress. So even though I went and screwed it up, you've got to consider that starting as a count or a duke isn't the easiest thing to do. And I am a complete noob at this game, as I've said right from the start, but I still enjoyed playing it, and every time I play through it I learn a little bit more. That's the same with Europa Universalis 4, and it's the same with Civilization 5 and a lot of the strategy games I play. I think no matter how many hours you put into them, Civilization 5 I've got hundreds and hundreds of hours in, but every now and then I'll play it and suddenly find a mechanic or a way of doing something that I didn't know existed, so it's always really, really fun to do. But that's the end of Crusader Kings 2. I'm not sure whether or not I will do another series of it in the future. Maybe I will. Maybe I will delve into it again once I'm a little bit more experienced, probably playing as a different ruler. Maybe we'll try something actually a little bit more tricky and just actually go balls to the wall and see what we can do with that. But yeah, it turns out it wasn't Leicester to Britannia. It was technically Mercia to England, but I'm not changing the title of the series now. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you have enjoyed watching me make a complete and utter mess of Crusader Kings 2, and I'll see you next time. Until then, goodbye for now.